Hey everyone, Tony George, DocSports.com, Week 3 opening line report. These are just initial reactions. I've seen a couple of these lines, but I haven't seen all of them, so I'm sharing them with you for the first time in terms of my reaction and candid comments. And we'll try and keep it child friendly here after another. It wasn't a good week for me in the NFL. First couple weeks. That's a huge priority. Huge priority. You can probably expect some very low volume this week. And, you know, week 1 was kind of carnage for everybody, bettors and survivor pool guys. And I'm sure this week was the same thing. I didn't look at the survivor pool numbers over at Circa. I did take Philadelphia this week, and I'm not in the Circa, but I'm in another survivor pool that started out with 1,103 guys. And I haven't checked, but the first weekend, 931 went out. So, but this week here, just the comebacks, the teams that just grabbed defeat from the jaws of victory, and teams that no-showed like the Colts. And they got Kansas City this week. Good luck. I haven't even seen that line. I've been working on college football all day Monday. Had another good week in college football. We're going to have a great week in college football this week, another 7-unit play. But, you had comebacks. Cleveland blew it. The Ravens blew it. The Raiders blew it. The Rams almost blew it. You had complete and utter just shell-shock scores. With the Colts was the biggest surprise to me, that how they just never even got off the bus or just completely showed up unprepared. And Matt Ryan looked like a 40-year-old quarterback that just doesn't give a rat's ass. Body language, 3 picks. Wow, I mean, that just horrible. Horrible. But nonetheless, some carnage this week for sports bettors. But week 3, some teams kind of solidified their identity. And other teams, you just don't know. You just don't know. Yet, going into week 3, you don't know. And there were a lot of teams this year that didn't play their starters in the preseason, and it shows. Both from a technical standpoint, from a sharpness standpoint, from a fatigue standpoint. You're seeing it. And I guess Monday night, what you got to see, I had a free play on the Vikings. I thought, well, Cousins can't possibly be any worse in primetime than 2-9. Well, I was wrong. But what you did see on Monday Night Football were 2 teams that wanted to stake the claim, the flag and the logo in the middle of the field type statement, which I use a lot. I thought the Buffalo Bills in week 1 did it. So we're the best team in the AFC. Come get you some. They did it again last night against the Titans, who blew it in week 1. So I give them a pass. They blew it. A big lead, and they let it go. That was the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs last year that they just destroyed last night like they weren't even in the stadium. We had prop bets in both games. I had under with Tannehill yards at 213. He barely got over 100. We had Hurts running for over 51 yards, and he didn't have a good night. He ran for 57, got the win there. But the Philadelphia Eagles also put their flag in the middle of the field and say, we're the best team in the NFC. And they played about as good as anybody in the NFC that I can see. So, that being said, we're going to open these up, talk about them briefly. And I'll give you my initial reactions. Let's go. The Thursday night game is the Pittsburgh Steelers now catching 5. The totals dropped from 40 to 38. The look-ahead line in this was like 3. What surprises me most about the Steelers is with Najee Harris, one of the quote-unquote great fantasy guy, this, that, and the other, they're 30th. In the NFL and running the football, and Cleveland's number 1. Who do you think's going to win that game? Short turnaround, Trubisky was doing stuff that, well, quite frankly, Trubisky was doing in Chicago when he got benched. They can't get any points on the board. I'd have leaned under, but that's dropped down to 38 now. If you like Cleveland, probably get on them now, because that goes going to go. It was at 5.5. It's going to go back up. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Now you're going to have sharp money coming in on the Steelers, but Steelers had 7 sacks in week 1. They didn't have any last week. And Cleveland's going to be really pissed off about that Jets loss. The Saints and the Panthers on Sunday. Currently, the Saints are 3 and the total 40.5. Is that right? 3 and 40.5. Saints defense, honestly played good against Tampa Bay. Winston looked like he was wearing a Tampa Bay uniform again when he was turning it over nonstop. And Carolina losing to... And one thing you're going to find this week, I wrote these down, you're going to find the betting markets in love with 0-2 teams. That would be Carolina, Vegas, and Cincy. Cincy, wow. So they're going to love those 0-2 teams this week. Sharps are going to hammer them. That means they're going to be hammering Carolina. 40.5 might be too many points. Houston plus 2.5 against Chicago is laying points. Opened up at 39. Now it's 40.5. Let me double check the live lines. Okay, Chicago minus 2.5. 40.5 against Houston. Better than you think they are. God, that's going to be a low-scoring game. I can only take Houston. I definitely use them in a teaser. Kansas City, Colts. Wow, let's just compare. I'm going to open this one up. Opened up at 6.5. The look ahead in this was like 3.5. The look ahead was 3. Now they are up to 7, and the total 49.5. I don't know how the Indianapolis Colts fix what ails them right now. And the one thing about their defense is, Reich's got his old buddy Gus Bradley in there DCing. He's running a 2 deep safety zone, which if Trevor Lawrence picked it apart, what the hell do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to do to that? He's top 3 quarterback in the NFL, arguably number 1, arguably number 2, definitely number 3. The way Josh Allen's playing, I haven't seen the QBR ratings. I don't give a rat's ass because it has nothing to do with the spread. Let's look at some rankings. Now, the Colts, middle of the road. 13th in yards, 10th in passing, 12th in rushing. Dead last in scoring versus the number 3 team in scoring. Kansas City's averaging 35 and a half points a game. Colts 10. Kansas City. Yeah. What do you think Kansas City's going to go in there and lose? Give me a break. Colts stink. And Matt Ryan's washed up. Buffalo minus 5.5 at Miami. Total 53.5. Miami, a hell of a comeback. The Tua and Hill connection is working fine. I didn't know how good that was going to work because he can't buy as much time as Mahomes can in terms of Hill cutting loose. And I may have been wrong on that. It's hard to lay 5.5 on the road. Short turnaround, Monday night game, travel. 53.5 looks tasty on the over, I can tell you that. Detroit catching 5.5 at Minnesota, total 53.5. Now they're catching 6. Minnesota looked like a team that they were much like It's an interesting here. The Detroit offense is fourth in the NFL in scoring, third in running the football, and they're fourth in total yards, second in scoring, and third in rushing yards. Minnesota defense is 24th in giving up the rush, 29th in giving up yards at 412 a game. I can only take Detroit plus the number there. Baltimore -3 at New England. Oh, wow. Total 43.5. I mean, Lamar Jackson looked like an MVP player the last game. Head and shoulders above New England. I'd take Baltimore. Cincinnati -4.5 at the Jets. Total 45.5. The betting market, if you like Cincinnati, take them now because they're going to bet them up to 6. And the Jets just, quite frankly, aren't that bad of a football team. I mean, eighth in the league in total yards, third in passing yards. Flacco looked like the Flacco when he won the year he won the Super Bowl. All right, Cincinnati is just kind of an enigma wrapped in a riddle right now. I don't want to get anywhere near them. I take under. What's that number? Give me a number on that. 45, take the under. Yeah, neither one of them can score. Las Vegas -2.5. Here's another team everybody's going to be in love in. They're at Tennessee, total 46.5. Do you see? Home underdog. They can't get Henry going. Tennessee's defense, man, that they pride themselves. So they're ranked 27th in total yards, and they're 31st against the rush. Their defense is allowing 31 points a game now, a little skewed because they played Baltimore. Giants beat them in week 1. Tennessee scoring 13.5 points a game. Vegas 21. Laying 2.5. Stay away game for me. Stay away game for me. Now, yeah, 2. Stay away game. Just a stay away game. Yeah. Both these teams 0-2. Stay away from it. Philadelphia -6.5 at Washington, division game. Total 47.5. I'd take Philadelphia in a teaser. For sure. Jacksonville getting 7 at the Chargers. There's your teaser. Right there. Total 48 up. It stayed steady. Yeah, there's your teaser right there. Chargers and Eagles. Rams laying 3.5 at Arizona. Total 49.5. Give me the Rams. Atlanta getting a 1.5 at Seattle. Ooh, back-to-back weeks on the coast for the Dirty Birds. Total 41.5. They're going to love Atlanta this week. Catching 2. If you can get them at 3, if the line moves, I'd take them. I'm looking at some of Seattle's numbers here. Second to last in the NFL in total yards. Dead last in running the football. Scoring 12 points a game. Give me Atlanta. Atlanta's 9th in scoring. And put up a hell of a fight. Green Bay at Tampa Bay, -2.5. Tampa Bay, 41.5 the total. Wow, that's going to be a good game. Now Tampa Bay is -2.5. Total 41. Tampa Bay. If you like Tampa Bay, I'd bet them on the money line, -135. Take those 2.5 points out of it. 135 is cheap when they're laying 2.5. I mean, the Saints gifted him a game. I could only lean Green Bay there. Maybe definitely in a teaser. San Francisco, your Sunday night game against Denver. Of course, all this talk about Jimmy G and Trey Lance and all this stuff. And they ended up keeping Jimmy G, and nobody seemed to be happy about it at the management level. They were doing everything they could to trade him away. Better be lucky nobody bit. I mean, I can name 5 to 6 quarterbacks, maybe more, that Jimmy G's better than that are starting in the NFL right now. They're not going to lose a beat there. As a matter of fact, I told you Trey Lance was not ready for the NFL, and I feel bad about his injuries. Out for the year. He had surgery, and it went okay. I read this morning, or I saw it on NFL Network on the news saying, I'm not sold on Denver. I'm not sold on Denver yet. And I'm more sold on San Francisco than I am Denver. San Francisco's a Super Bowl contender. Denver isn't. The Russell Wilson magic, the coaching, yeah, I could only lean San Fran there. On Monday Night Football, oh, here we go. The Dallas Cowboys and Cooper Rush are taking on the unbeaten G-Men of New York at the Meadowlands there on Monday Night Football. Opening line was 2.5 New York and 39.5. Still is. That's the same number now as of we tape this on Tuesday. Dallas has put up 23 points in 2 games. Early lean be the G-Men. So that's what's going on this week in the NFL. We'll have potentially a podcast towards the end of the week. And if I don't have a podcast, I'll launch a live chat on Friday. Mid-morning Central Time, like noonish Central. So check the videos on this channel, on the YouTube channel each and every day that Doc Sports offers. Be sure and come over to Doc's this week. Get hooked up for some baseball. NBA's right around the corner. I don't think I'm going to have any pick in the President's Cup, but all my picks will be out on Thursday. We're going to have a kick-ass week in the NFL and another 7-unit winner in college football. Honestly, there's one 7-unit pick in here, and that may be the only pick I have in the NFL with the teaser this weekend. Yeah. Going to go very low volume, get back to positive units, chip away, slow and steady wins the race, tortoise and hare. Thanks for tuning in.